WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Gilbert, brother, and you're listening to the Greens Guild Podcast.
All right, I have an intro written here, but I don't know really how to start, so I'm just going to freaking start. Hey, this is the Cretans Guild Podcast, an erratically scheduled discussion on nerd-centric topics, such as movie, TV, video games, comics, and other themes of similar nature. The converse is candid car ride-along style of lifelong friends, filled with inside jokes, callbacks, insights, highlights, lowlights, and all the speed bumps in between. I am Skipper Bob, and I am joined today by one of my very best friends, and who is not doing a Heil Hitler salute. Corey, welcome back.
It's only been 5 seconds or so.
I know.
I was trying like hell to interrupt you, though. Like, shit, I could just shut the fuck up and let you do the open, which was the hottest fucking open, by the way.
Yeah, well, I think that's cutting you completely out is the only way I can actually get through the entire intro without being interrupted.
That's understandable.
This is episode 120, by the way.
Okay.
That's what I was forgetting to do.
I didn't know we actually... It for some reason, it just occurred to me that we actually have, like, scripted opens for this, because I think for the last couple of them...
They've been very guerrilla warfare-esque for the last years.
Well, we've been hard up on the cold open the past couple of casts, and I forgot that, sometimes we do like it hot. I mean, if that's the opposite of a cold open, there has to be an opposition, right? So
speaking of hot, bring in a friend of ours from the Respawn Aim Fire podcast. We got ourselves Adam. Let's see, he's only been a one-time Cretans Guild champion, I believe. Yes, just once.
2 times?
2 times?
I think I've had a successful defense, I think is what happened.
Oh, okay. So that counts as a single reign, though.
Technically, I think. Because I did...
But
so I won something.
The Creator Battle Royale.
I won the Battle Royale. And then we did a Game Awards prediction, and I also won that. So I think that counts as a successful title defense.
Was that who's? I think that might have been one of like the very few times I've challenged somebody for the belt. Was for an awards prediction. Was it for Oscars or was it for the Game Awards?
It was Game Awards two Game Awards ago, and I dusted everybody. It wasn't even close. I was so good at it.
Yeah, I remember that.
You ran away with it.
Yeah, that was a painful victory.
Not for me.
No, not for you. Hell no. 2023 to me in gaming was the year that like all the weird fishing games came out, and that's pretty much how I identify that one.
Fishing games?
Classic fishing year. Yeah.
It was the weird fishing year. That was like the year Dredge, and then Dave the Diver, and then Wretched Depths, and then I think Cruelty Squad came out before that, but it still had fishing in it, and it was weird.
Okay, so if any game has like any kind of fishing element at all, you consider that like a fishing simulator?
Well, any kind of fishing simulator, but this is a micro-genre. It has to be weird. It has to have like some sort of an eldritch or horror element to it. Dave the Diver's kind of up and down with that, but it did a crossover with both Dredge and Godzilla. I think it counts.
It's got Godzilla in it. It's pretty badass, yeah.
Yeah.
All
right, so we have all three of us have to say what our favorite fishing moment in games would be, and for me it would have to be, I think it was Ocarina of Time, going for fishing in Lake Hyrule. That was one of my favorites. What about you, Adam?
Oh, I mean, I want to point out the ones that were just said, like Dredge and Dave are really good, but I just want to have fun and say Red Dead 2, just because you can fish for like 10 hours in that game if you feel like it, catching all the big trophies and stuff. It's stupid, but it is like really in depth. It's pretty good.
And there's yet another game in my backlog that I haven't touched. I think Dredge was fucking money. Like most of these games were blessed in that way that they actually turned out to be good. But I liked fishing in Sea of Thieves. That's like the one thing about that game that didn't make me physically fucking ill. Was
Adam, you gotta be careful when you take a drink.
It's fine, I'll choke on it.
Sorry about that. Didn't want you to end up aspirating yourself. But fishing in that game is like legit difficult. You can actually strategize locations around where you can fish and what types of baits to use to catch the fish. And when you get one, it feels like you fucking won. Like it's an actual hard fought victory.
You fry it up, eat it, get 3 hearts or whatever. It's a good time.
Yeah. Mostly whenever those trophies are caught, they went towards Hunter's Call achievements, but trying to trade for treasure. But for the most part, it's Sea of Thieves, and people are just gonna try to give you surprise anal in order to sink your ship.
Surprise!
Fucking hate that game, man.
You said love incorrectly. Just a big heads up.
I wish I could, man. It looks great, and I know we had a good time on it, but man, the last couple of times I've actually tried to play in earnest have left a really, really bad taste in my mouth.
Ooh, two things to argue that: Monkey Island, Pirates of the Caribbean. We're done.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Best game of all time.
We played the Pirates mod. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Mod DLC. And another friend of mine and I want to do Monkey Island, but like we can't make schedules sync up because adult play dates. And whenever I try to get in on it, like single player, I've done Safer Seas. That's Rare, kind of like cutting off its nose to spite its own face and making it more palatable for everybody. All I want is like for the players to not be fucking sociopaths. That's it. Is that so much to ask?
Ooh, can't play online and have that kind of idea.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. But
You might be asking for too much there.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, and I think I'm a good person, but I'm an asshole online. So
No. You're a good person, and you're not as much of an asshole online as I have come across in that fucking game.
How quickly into the game did you hear the N-word?
Surprisingly, I haven't heard the N-word any in it. I've heard a bunch though.
yeah.
Usually directed at me. Yeah, that's my stock experience in Sea of Thieves, and that's like at base level. That's like the starter pack for the Sea of Thieves troll experience.
You okay there, Bob? You having a good time?
Yeah, I'm debating in my mind if I need to censor Corey or not.
Just do a back mask.
Yeah, you probably will. No, like a lot of sometimes it makes for a good anecdote. Like the do you suck balls story, but other times it's like really deeply depressing shit.
Oh, so you had Arlie Ermy screaming at you?
Nah, I wish. No, most of the dudes that scream at me have like really high reedy voices, and I'm pretty sure that's not by coincidence.
Hey, you little bitch.
Exactly.
Give me your
treasure.
treasure.
Like you like anal? Prepare for war.
When did Invader Zim get into this game?
I got bagged by that is Invader Zim, isn't it? I was going for more for a SpongeBobby kind of an affectation, but whatever. There was a time in that game where I got bagged by a streamer group who are apparently called the Sea of Thieves Bully Patrol, I think. And the voice that I was doing just now was an attempt to ape that guy's voice. Prepare to be bullied! We're the Sea of Thieves Bully Patrol! And then I blew their ship up with a keg.
We have 17 Twitch subscribers. We're a big deal. And just shout out to Rare, the people who made Banjo-Kazooie 1, 2, and 3. They're just like, why don't we make a live service pirate game that goes for 10 years? I'm like, you know what? Good on you.
They committed to it, is what they did. Because I remember when it first launched, people were like, what the fuck are we going to do here? I guess I can play an accordion for a bit. Like, fishing and all that stuff came out, like, way afterwards, right?
Years afterwards.
Yeah.
Funny Rare joke, Banjo-Kazooie 3. She banjoed my Kazooie till I nut and bolt. Just stick with that, everybody. That's a fun one.
Speaking of video games, all right, so something that I missed because I was fucking working for 2 weeks straight, but you guys were able to watch, I think, as it happened.
This guy, the Switch 2 got announced.
Yeah, that thing right there. Oh, it looks like a Switch because it is a Switch. Cool.
Yeah, it's Switch XL. It's just a little bit bigger. I don't have the specs. I don't have they even released any information like how the size of the screen
no,
or
anything. That'll all be April 2nd with that direct.
So no deets, just sizzle.
The trailer is just like, here's the old one, and then like it gets bigger and it becomes a different color black. So that's how you know it's bigger.
It's slightly larger.
A different color, black with highlights, like Lenny Kravitz.
There you go, nailed it. But yeah, no, that was a pretty big announcement. That was everybody knew it. I mean, half of the people presenting at CES were like, hey. Guys, we've got the specs. We are making stuff for it. If they're not going to do it, we'll just keep talking about it.
It was kind of funny for a reveal because it wasn't like people being blown away. It was everybody going, fucking finally, Jesus.
Well, there was about a month worth of leaks going out, and everyone was like, is this AI? Is this for real? Are they really this low-balling this release?
A month of leaks? So by my count, that's at least a good year and a half of like solid leaks, and then maybe like 2.5 of...
Well, there was at least a month of what looked like reliable information coming out and photos, but there was still some weird stuff coming out. Like there was a hand holding a Switch 2, but it looked like it was AI because the background was weird looking. The guy had a sweater on, and he was wearing a watch on top of the sweater sleeve, which as soon as I saw, I was like, who the fuck does that?
The Rock.
Is this fake? Well, The Rock. Yeah, probably The Rock.
But I'm guessing it's not like just The Rock's hand pimping that shit out. Although,
yeah, I'm willing to bet it was not Dwayne Johnson. Yeah,
yeah, unless the contract was really small and he had nothing to do.
Wouldn't put it past him, but at the same time, yeah, no, it wasn't. No.
So for now, what we know about this machine is just pretty much what this teaser has shown everybody, and nothing specific, right?
Yeah.
Except for the button that you were talking about down over here, which it remains a mystery to me.
Yeah, previous unit had it as the C button, but for some reason in the trailer they just left it blank. Is there some kind of surprise that they're gonna give us? But all the leaks we were seeing is, hey, it's a C button. Who cares?
Okay, all right. So, like vague nomenclature notwithstanding, is that supposed to be like a callback to the C buttons on the N64 controller?
Yeah, yeah, because that's what that was.
So it's going to be situational utility like the C buttons on the C64 or the N64 controller, probably.
It'll have a secondary controller option or something or another.
It's the Hoonie Pop button. Installs Hoonie Pop right on your Switch.
There you go. Hoonie Pop. That sounds Honey Pop. They're actually, the trailer, bare bones as it kind of was. We did get, I mean, we'll get to the showed Mario Kart. There's some interest. Again, it's a little bit bigger. Magnetic rails now instead of physically sliding them in.
I think fucking priced for that.
Which is like, thank God, that'll make it 100 times better. And then the supposed, you can use the Joy-Con as a mouse now. And then there's also a USB-C on top and bottom compared to just on the bottom like before. But I think the mouse thing is probably the most interesting.
This right here made me rigid.
I
was like, oh, it works.
Oh, the kickstand.
They were really into the kickstand. They really want to show that kickstand off. They're like, look how low it goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a yoga instructor. It's bending all the way downward dog on us.
Which is crazy. But I think the idea of using a Joy-Con, putting it flat, and making it a mouse, we'll see how they use it or what, 3 games actually utilize it. But it's an interesting idea, I guess. I mean, we'll have to see it. I think the idea of playing a first-person shooter like, Metroid Prime 4, supposedly coming out this year, probably close to launch of this device. If I could use the right Joy-Con to do my aim instead of the itty-bitty little thumbstick, maybe that's cool. I like have control in my left hand and then, look around with mouse aim with the right one, maybe.
If they're going to be able to ape the K&M experience, then that's going to be kind of big in this house. Most anything I do that's like FPS is dedicated desktop. I just can't use sticks on that shit. Like, period.
I like how the Joy-Cons are larger because when I first got my Switch and I held the Joy-Cons in my hand, I was like, holy God, I'm going to crush these things with these sausage hands.
They're so tiny.
Very little things, yeah.
At least these are they look like they have a little more heft to them. They're still, I'm still going to use a Pro Controller. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Pro Controller day one, I'm buying that. I'm going to use that instead.
What I would like, I tended to go set top with it for the most part. But the first time I ended up using, not the first time, but the first time I ended up having to rely upon the Joy-Cons as a portable machine was when I was living in the Airbnb. And I was like, all right, well, I haven't used these things in 3 years. Let's see how it goes. And the drift hit as soon as I loaded up Dead Cells. And I was like, this shit's unplayable. Being that this trailer isn't showing too much and giving away too many details, what would we like to expect from this fucking thing? My first thing is no goddamn drift. I hope they have taken care of that issue, period.
I would like to think that was one of their top priorities, but at the same time, this is Nintendo, so I do not know. They could have had their own head up their ass and said, what drift problem? There's no drift problem. It was fine. What's wrong with you?
The Irving Mainway approach.
You're the problem.
It's not a drift problem. It's auto control. It's the character to play itself. No. There's
the Activision approach.
Oh God. No, the Activision approach is there's a drift problem, and you still gave us $300, bitch. Deal with it.
I am looking up what it's called specifically, so give me a moment. But apparently, some more of the leaks are suggesting that the way that they build the controller will get rid of stick drift. I will look up the exact wording. Oh, Hal effect sticks. There's no physical contact between the stick and the sensor. Apparently, that's how most good controllers are built nowadays. So apparently this one is going to have that instead of
I hope so.
The old way. So you should not have stick drift
What did you call them? Halifax sticks?
Haleffect.
Oh shit. Okay,
Hall
yeah.
effect.
No, they a lot of PC controllers use that already.
It was made in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Halifax, yeah.
They were invented by a hockey player, supposed. No, a ton of PC controllers use that. All I was expecting is for the controllers to fucking work, and if they're going to do that plus then some, that'd be great. Have we heard anything about backwards compatibility yet?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. At the end of the trailer, it's backwards compatible with your digital and physical cartridges for most things. It doesn't say what's not backwards compatible. If I had to guess, it'd be like Labo games or Ring Fit, the weird use cases.
What I'm very, very happy is remember when they went from, I think it was the 3DS to the 2DS, or yeah, the 2DS, and they had like a little notch on the side of the 2DS game so it couldn't be played on the 3DS or something like that. I'm glad they're not going that route. That you just literally take the game from a Wii and put, or a Wii, a Switch, and put it in a Switch 2 and start playing.
I was hoping that like one thing that I'm like my little paranoid nerd brain is constantly afraid of is that like when a publisher's license runs out on a either a retro or a retro title, that's the only word I really needed there, is that like even the physical ones won't be able to play anymore, which is a fucked up way of thinking about the marketplace nowadays, but it's not that unrealistic, at least to me. So the first thing that I thought of is that like I think Jay said something about like the Switch claiming to be mostly, big old scare quotes, backwards compatible. And I was like, well, what could not be backwards compatible? And I was like, oh, Scott Pilgrim, Mega Man Battle Network, Castlevania Collection, things like that. Because they're all emulated, of course. There's no real, like, reason that, like, from a software, like, from a coding point that it would be so. Unless, like, somebody's license ran out. Or, you know, somebody had a shit fit with Nintendo over something. And then suddenly those games cannot work anymore. Because that can happen. What's been a big issue, like in recent years, has been video games running out of like content licenses or supporting content licenses, so they have to be pulled from a marketplace, right? That's why Deadpool's not on Steam anymore. You could still download them, and of course, if your PC can run them, you can play them.
So for a fun little experiment, I looked because I know a similar thing happened because Xbox has been pretty good about backwards compatibility. They put it in Xbox One, and then it just carried over, and nothing ever changed. When PS4 went to PS5. They were like, okay, we got to make sure backwards compatible stuff works. And from that switching over, every PS4 game works on PS5 except for 16 titles.
Okay.
And I have the list in front of me. And it's the Assassin's Creed, like the 2D platformer games. It's Risk. It's just like Afro Samurai 2. It's random stuff like that where it's like, some reason these licensings don't work or whatever it is, but the hundreds of games that were backwards compatible and 16 don't work. I think if it's similar on Switch too, where it's like 10 games don't work because whatever the licensing or the controller doesn't work, I think that's fine. I think if your number is under 20, when there are thousands of video games,
out of all those titles,
I think you will survive.
Especially the Switch, where I don't know how many titles there are for the Switch with all the shovelware dumping that system has had, but
like the modern generations have been pretty decent about shovelware, I think.
I think the Switch went a little overboard. Anybody who can develop a game, they put it on the shop. It doesn't matter if it works.
Pull up your Switch, hit on that new released or whatever section of the store, you'll be like, oh boy.
Yeah.
There's
like,
some stuff
like
here.
Steam cast offs end up. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Well, it could have been by volume also, because like older consoles just didn't see the the bulk of releases, or at least the frequency of releases that like modern day consoles and marketplaces have nowadays.
I don't think you'll miss anything that's important. Like I don't think all of a sudden Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey doesn't work on Switch 2. I think it's going to be very specific, weird use cases where, like, we ran out of music licensing or the car license ran out, so we're not going to make it backwards compatible for the new one. That's normally what happens, so...
They'll just make you pay for Super Mario Brothers all over again, like you did for everything.
You'll do that regardless, yes, of course.
Yeah, it's going to happen. We're offering it. Do you want it? Yes.
I mean, an Odyssey 2, I'll buy, like, day one, probably.
So let's speculate real quick. Name a title you think would be a really good launch title for the Switch 2.
Launch title?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it's going to be an up-res or a port or something, right? Like a remastered whatever?
No, let's say it's original game.
Okay.
Like a launch. It would have to be a launch title game. game.
And are we speculating, or are we saying we would like this to be our pick for it?
You can either wildly speculate, you can be making a jokey haha, or you can be like, I really think they're going to do this.
All right.
I have a list of 5 things.
All right, give us your top one.
Here, well, I think the one that will launch will be Metroid Prime 4.
That'd be nice.
I think that it'll work on both, but I think that will be a launch title for Switch 2. As far as Nintendo first party goes, I think that's the one that they go
That'd be
with.
very nice, actually. Yeah, reasonable too. All right, number 4.
Oh, well, the other ones in the first year, we're going to get Mario Kart. Obviously, Mario Kart's in this trailer. We're going to get Mario Kart.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I also think we're going to get a Mario platformer. I don't know. I don't think it'll be Odyssey 2, but there will be a 3D Mario in the first by the end of Christmas.
Okay.
And then 2 indies, which would be interesting, would be Hades 2 1.0 release.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that game is in early access and it's phenomenal, but that should be coming out of early access some point this year. And then I'm just going to say it, Hollow Knight Silksong. We'll just keep saying it until it comes out. We'll just say that name over and over again one of these days. So
That's fine. You can do that. By the time it releases, I might have finished the first game. Because that game beats my ass black and blue.
Okay, I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
Luigi's Prison. In the same manner of...
prison.
Yeah, in the same manner as Luigi's Mansion. He goes out and he kills a healthcare CEO. He gets thrown in prison. Now he's got to exercise the entire prison of ghosts and spirits.
I will say, if you Google Luigi's Prison, it's definitely not the guy with the green hat.
Unless it's fan art.
You're going to be doing a lot of sucking in there, Luigi. A lot of sucking.
Oh, okay. Just divert real quick. He's in the same exact prison as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever his name is this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he is pissed off that that guy is getting more respect from the other inmates than he is an actual celebrity.
Poor guy. I don't know how he'll make it in there.
Yeah.
He's already got the most cigarettes.
And lube to go with it.
Let me think. I don't know. I can't think about like what would be a logical first launch title, or what would be even like. I'm nowhere on it. Hades 2. You kind of stole my thunder with that, but I probably wouldn't have gotten there without you suggesting it anyway. So
just say a Kirby game.
Nah, Kirby. Nah. Let me see. What would I like to launch on the Switch 2? Monaco 2, like a day one, would be fucking pimp as hell. Because Monaco, the first one, came to Switch eventually, but that was like the PC sloppy seconds, and that is a perfect multiplayer game. Next to that, I don't know. What I'd like, maybe, since I finally got to fucking play it after 15 years, was Dokapon Kingdom Connect, and I would like to have a save game in that, which would make it really conducive to multiplayer gaming. But next to that, I don't know. This is just me, like... I could go with this Christmas list for like the next 30 minutes and probably longer. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Here's one that you will get. I don't know what they're going to call it, but you're going to get another 1-2 Switch bullshit party game, whatever. There's going to be some weird snipper clips. You're going to get some weird like, oh, look, the mouse is super fun. Play with your friends. We're going to get one of those.
Switch
I don't know what
Sports.
they'll be called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially a tech demo. Oh, we're probably going to get a WarioWare launch title of some kind.
You think they would just make a WarioWare. Instead, they make weird off titles that aren't WarioWare.
Yeah, I know. It's
WarioWare breaking out. You got to break Luigi out.
There it is.
Oh, that's right. That'd be pretty cool. Because Wario's a criminal. I guess it's implied. I don't know. He might just be a weird drunk dude. Of course, you want to stick it to the man a little bit.
I did want to show you guys something that I picked up recently. So here in Orlando, we had or just outside of Orlando, we had a D&D style goblin swap meet. You come in, you bring some stuff that has some value to it, but you don't really care about it, whatever, like Funko Pops or whatever. So I brought a bunch of stuff.
Funko Pops are used as currency of those usually.
Yeah. I was able to trade 2 of them, and Corey, you are going to love this. I got...
Holy shit, you got the board game print?
Yeah, 221B Baker Street.
Oh my god.
I have not gone through this, so I don't know if it's intact.
Uh-huh.
But it was worth, I thought, in my opinion, this was worth 2 Funko Pops that I just had collecting dust on the shelf. Yeah, sure.
Dude, I think they stopped printing those like before 1982 or 83. Now they all come in like the shelf top style boxes. The ones that we're used to now.
The copyright on this is 1977.
That shit's ancient.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of afraid to open it now.
That's amazing. And also, it's all going to turn to dust.
Maybe I'll get everything inside of it laminated. So when you come down, I'm sure you're going to want to play it.
Probably, yes. I'm going to bring some of my own notepads so you don't have to use yours, but definitely.
I got notepads out the ass.
Speaking of like old board game stories, this shouldn't take very long. When I was setting up my shelves over here a couple of months ago, I found my old set of Hero Quest, and I decided to dive into it just to see like how old it might be. One of the names on top of the character sheets was Fat Fartigan, and that was that was the name of a character of somebody that I used to date. She would name her characters in RPGs. So I was like, oh man, I need to take this thing out for a spin again. This is too it's been too long. It's been too long.
For nostalgia.
Yeah.
For 2 Funko Pops though, that's a deal.
Yeah.
I would.
And you know what? I had one thing. It's way over there, so I can't pull it out to show you. But it's this decoration of the creature from the Black Lagoon that you hang above your door, and he like sticks his arms out forward, and it's just like decorative. I was like, this is gonna be like my trump card. I'm gonna use this to get whatever the fuck I want. Nobody wanted it.
Aww.
I was like,
the hell?
Like nothing but children here? What the hell?
Uncultured
It's
swine.
I know. I was not happy about that.
It's both the Gillman B and A free back massages when you walk by the door.
That's great. If only that Dark Universe had taken off, everybody would be loving Creature from the Black Lagoon right now.
We still have a chance.
You know,
I have a sneaking suspicion that Lee Wannell's trying to make this happen, just kind of under the table, because he did the Invisible Man movie a couple of years ago, right? Yeah, and he's doing the Wolfman now.
Yeah, Wolfman just came out.
Yeah, that showed before Nosferatu. The trailer for it, anyway. That was fun.
He's trying.
Any of you see that this week or this week? No, it came out at Christmas actually, about a month ago.
Nosferatu or Wolfman?
Wait, Nosferatu. As far as I know, Wolfman is not out just yet, unless you've seen an advanced print.
Well, I've watched it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh, cool. All right. Were you into it?
He's got those links from China, don't you?
I got
nice.
a link from somewhere. I like Invisible Man more.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. It's short. It's okay. He's a good director. I think Invisible Man is better. But yeah, it's fine. It's quick at least.
What Nosferatu was?
No, I'm talking about Wolfman.
Oh.
I'm not talking about Nosferatu. That also, I like that director, but I was talking about Wolfman specifically.
Okay.
We can get Nosferatu because I know you want to, because there's some big things to talk about in that movie. Nosferatu is more interesting, I think, to talk about.
Because Eggers is a more interesting director, I think. Wannell's kind of like an inconsistent dude. He's mostly known for like being writing bitch on most James Wan movies. I could have put that in a more flattering way, I guess, but whatever. And the last thing I remember him doing was like, aside from Invisible Man, I think he did like the third Insidious or the second one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, he did 3.
He did 3. Yeah. Case of diminishing returns on like all of them. Like 1 and 2 were pretty good. Third one was fucking bad, and the fourth one was worse than that one. But Nosferatu was pretty good. Eggers I'm kind of weird on though, because The Witch was a good movie. I thought it was fucking ridiculous though. not to put too fine a point on it. Like he does the whole unsettling dread thing really good, and of course when it has to do with like a folk-like texture, I guess he doesn't really go overboard. In other words, it felt like a very lean and very grisly movie. But when you got to the end, and spoiler alert, you find out that the goat is indeed Satan, and he's like, "Hey, you want butter?" I'm like, "Fucking shut up, man." That's the big scare. That's supposed to like have me fucking quaking my bacon right there in the theater. That's good. You want to wear a pretty dress, girl?
Hey guys, it's me, Satan. I'm here to tell you to sin and stuff.
You know what's funny?
Who's a bad girl? Yeah.
Oh my god, that's too good. I just love to go on Wikipedia and read stuff. So obviously, Eggers, the guy we're talking about, did Witch. Then he did The Lighthouse, Eldritch Horror, sort of an idea. Northman, which is sort of a different thing entirely, but also interesting movie.
Right.
Nosferatu. And then his next movie, I think, just got announced not long ago, maybe earlier this week, where he's doing.
Hold on, was it announced or is it rumored still? Because I think I know.
It might just be a rumor.
Okay.
But Werewolf is supposedly Eggers' next movie in 2026.
I haven't heard that yet. I thought no, he was rumored to be doing something really silly here. Hang on a second.
2026. It's in pre-production, like very early pre-production. So I mean, that's usually indications like, let's not hold our breaths until filming actually starts.
Labyrinth was the next rumored movie he was going to do.
As in,
like he was going to remake Labyrinth. Yeah, that was the other thing.
Oh, really?
That was a heavy rumor. Like there was no substantiation to that whatsoever. And Eggers himself was like, "You're hearing about it before I am." So yeah. Nosferatu was pretty good. When I saw that movie, I realized that I have never seen either of the Nosferatu movies, like the Herzog one or the Murnau one. I saw Shadow of the Vampire.
Excellent movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that movie way more than anybody should have the right to.
That's a cool as shit
movie.
movie. Well, it does like the whole postmodern thing, but without being all the way up its own ass about it, which a lot of people tend to do. Is like, oh, I bet you never thought of this. It's like everyone's thought of it. The original movie exists, so yes, somebody has thought about the clever idea that you're about to wow us all with. But Shadow of the Vampire wasn't like that. It wasn't self-serious or anything. The thing about Nosferatu that I didn't realize is that like it is like when I was watching this version, I was like, well, this is a whole shitload like Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then the little man in the back of my head was like, well, you know why that is, you fucking retard? It's because it's a remake of Dracula. And I was like, no, it's not. Second consciousness. You're completely full of shit. Turns out the original Nosferatu was actually like Dracula at home. F.W. Murnau just made it for the German territories because back then everything was more insular. And when it actually became popular enough to release over in the States, Bram Stoker's widow was like, no, you guys have to pay me now. So that's why that movie was like so familiar to me. I was like, well, you're Winona Ryder, and you're like a really sappy version of Keanu Reeves. And you're Gary Oldman, but you're not old, and you're not a man.
I don't know if that's probably the worst acting I've ever seen out of a singular actor who's like the mainstream. Was Keanu's performance in that movie just god awful.
He had a period where he didn't act. I mean, that's who among us hasn't had like a sophomore slump. He made it big as Ted Theodore Logan, then all of a sudden people are expecting screen presence out of him, or something more than screen presence out of him, and he's like, well, this is what I got, guys.
Were we?
Well.
Were we? I mean, was he Bill or Ted?
He was Ted.
He was Ted. Okay, he was Ted.
Mm-hmm.
That's like he was Ace Ventura. It's not exactly putting him on a pedestal there.
I mean, for one thing, we were kids at the time, so it's not like I thought too deeply about this. But like, he did such a good job in that role that it didn't really occur to me that was probably just him being him. And then moving on to like wider fare, you're like, oh, he's still Ted, just a little quieter here,
So then, what's John Wick? Is that Ted like with a hangover and a really bad day?
John Wick is Keanu Reeves after he learned how to act. He's John fucking Wick in that movie. Case closed. He's a dude who gets really violent at the idea that someone just killed his dog. Now, that's all the motivation he needed for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Granted.
Yeah. I wasn't laughing at him too much, though.
I will say, though, Bram Stoker's Dracula, 92. Matrix, 97, 98?
99, I think.
Too far. Yeah, not too far after.
Not too far after.
He learned how to act in a couple of years, apparently. I mean, he was a leading...
A lot can happen.
He's a leading man.
I think something happened in between Dracula and Speed. Or maybe just a little bit after Speed.
Yeah, Winona Ryder.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm sorry. I'm talking out of my ass again. I think between Dracula and Point Break, because Point Break is really good. That's one of his best movies. Like, one of his best movies. So that would have been before Speed anyway. Now that I'm thinking about it, his dude in Speed's kind of like a riff on his dude from Point Break. So is there really a point here at all? No.
No.
Funny tie around now that we're talking about.
What's
this.
that?
He's one of the Skarsgårds who's in Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's also the same Skarsgård that's in John Wick 4. So there's another Keanu.
Bill Skarsgård?
Whatever. The one who's also it. The guy that he's the new who's the lanky man from Hellboy. He just does all the creatures.
Doug Jones.
He's the new Doug Jones.
Yeah.
This guy's because he's every creature now. Every time he's Nosferatu, he's all the creatures.
You want to hear something funny?
What?
That that release of Nosferatu was not the only release of a Nosferatu film from last year. Not even the only remake of that movie. There was another Nosferatu that was like an almost shot-for-shot, like a Gus Van Sant style remake of the original movie. You want to know who played Nosferatu in that one? It's Doug Jones.
Yeah, of course it was.
Look it up. There he is. He's looking it up.
When I found out that Doug Jones played Mac Tonight.
Mike Tonight, yeah.
Yeah. When I found that, I was like, what else has this guy not done, for God's sake?
The one thing that people have gone on about Nosferatu is the way that Nosferatu himself looks, where it is he's a balding man with a comb over, a massive mustache, and a big blue dong. And everyone on the internet's been talking about it in my feeds. And the dude I work with, so I work with a guy who went to see Nosferatu, who's very excited, and he cannot stop talking about Nosferatu's mustache and his big blue dong.
I mean, yeah, when he started to talk, I kind of expected him to be, well, get on over here, fellas, sit yourself down, and I'll rustle up some sarsaparilla. I mean, he was inspired by one of the icons of Vlad Tepes, right?
I would say you should watch it, Bob. I think it's a good movie. I think you'll enjoy it. We're talking nonsense about it, but it's fun.
So you're not going to be hanging garlic off of it, but
Maybe stir the pot with it. I've been on like this personal swearing off going to movie theaters for a little over a year now. It's probably closer to 3 years almost.
Swearing off of it?
Yeah, I have no interest to go to a movie theater. Not anytime. I think the last thing I saw in the theaters was Sonic 2. So yeah, that was probably the last.
It's not a.
There's not something to hang my hat on. Yeah, the last movie I saw was Sonic.
Was this like a conscious decision, or is it just something that's like nothing's really enticed you to go to the movies in a long time?
No, I've had some things like Wolverine and Deadpool, but I hate the movie theater experience. I can't stand it anymore.
I love it.
I'm still into the theater experience. I just hate how much you have to fucking pay for it nowadays.
That's a huge chunk of
it.
Well, yeah, if you're taking family stuff, I love to go on a Sunday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, those are the best. Yeah.
It's just like an empty theater, basically. It's matinee prices, so it's like $6 to $8.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Love it. And I don't buy popcorn and shit, so like it literally is going to cost me $10 gas included to go watch a movie on a Sunday. I'll do that all day.
I'm lucky with this location because we actually have an AMC like right over here, and it's like maybe 2 or 3 blocks away. And we have like 2 other grocery stores too, so I can like nip into one, get a box of whatever they don't sell over there, and then I'm set for most of the movie.
That's what I think they need to do. If something releases in the theaters, also sell it digitally.
Yeah. Instead of like,
or put it up for rent at least.
Basically, what is an ipso facto rental of you just going to the movie theater and sitting in a chair, and then you relinquishing your rights to see it as soon as you leave, unless you got it on your phone. But that's illegal. It's a tough thing. It's honestly weird that to consider that like theaters are still open to it because of the amount of overhead that these release companies have to invest into keeping that infrastructure going. So the fact that like everything costs so goddamn much isn't a huge surprise. The fact that they're able to still sell this product to investors is kind of a surprise. And I think that's why AMC is kind of like bending over backwards to suck dick in front of like they always have that. Before trailers or after the trailers, they're like, thank you, our movie-going patrons, and all of our investors. And it's like, the investors know. We don't have to.
Yeah, they're not in the movie theater with me.
Yeah.
It's all good.
They have their own personal copy at home.
They're kind of like gesticulating a little too hard in their direction because they know that like once one opts out, then it's like, oh fuck, House of Cards action.
You're right. That is interesting because you have the prices of everything, but then I know I never bought any, but the whole popcorn bucket thing.
Oh yeah.
Every major release gets a weird popcorn bucket, and they're all like $50.
Yeah.
They're just doing anything they can to make money.
I want some of those though. They look.
I was gonna tell you, I hoard out for the Nosferatu one. The coffin had to end up in the house, if only for like October decorations. Yeah.
As a theme park guy, a popcorn bucket is like right up my alley. It's like, all right, you put out an interesting popcorn bucket, I might be stepping foot in your establishment.
Yeah, a lot of them are a little try hard though. Like Nosferatu, you didn't have to. You just took a container-shaped prop from the movie and then turned that into a popcorn bucket. The Deadpool Wolverine one was odd as fuck. It was basically like Wolverine's mouth.
Wolverine with a big open mouth.
Yeah. And I know that kind of fits with Deadpool's, irreverent tone and all that whatnot, but there are some for other movies that are almost to that, but are playing it a little bit straighter, and it's awkward. And
remember the one for Dune was really weird.
Yeah. It's a little too fleshlighty for me.
The sand pussy.
So it.
I do think Deadpool Wolverine was making fun of that, if I had to assume. But that kicked it off. Timothy Chalamet was like, "Put your hand in this. You're gonna love it."
What will I feel? Pain.
that's what you're hoping you feel. You know. And what kind of sucks is that, like, I don't know, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot coming out in the next year that I'm, at least too jazzed about.
Is it the end of this year there's an Avengers, or is it next year there's some grab the scraps that are remaining of all the superheroes, like, let's make another Avengers movie?
I don't know. I just hope that they don't use that movie as just a simple fucking advertisement for the next goddamn movie. Because, man, that trend got tiresome, and it got tiresome fast. Like, what's become of Hercules? Are we ever going to see that motherfucker show up again? Like, anywhere?
Nope.
Yeah. I mean...
We're never going to see the Inhumans.
Maybe that's for the best. I don't know.
We don't need to see them. It's fine.
The Inhumans, whatever. What an Inhuman anyway.
The teaser at the end of that caught my attention. I mean, Pip the Troll and Eros. What the fuck was his name?
Was that Harry Styles or?
I want to see Pip the Troll.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, at the end of Eternals. Yeah. I know
Eternals.
Eternals.
You're talking about Eternals. All right. Yeah. Same thing. Or not really, but still Jack Kirby creation. But for a while there, it was just like, I mean, this is probably the most egregious example of this. This is why I keep coming back to it. But did we see the Doctor Strange multiverse a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've all seen it. Okay, so the end of that, I think his wife in the comics makes an appearance. It's Charlize Theron, and it was, I swear to God, like shot in such a haphazard and like after-minded way that it seemed to be like a setup to a porno. It was that cheap. Literally 2 camera angles for the whole thing, and they were both at like 3/4 angles. Conversation, let's go. And that was it. It was no jazz to it whatsoever. And not each of these. You can do like a post-credit scene, but like not all of them have to be pimping up the next shit. Like one of the best post-credit scenes out of any of those movies that I can remember is the one at the end of Iron Man 3, where Hulk just shows up, but they're not talking about the next Avengers movie or whatever. It's just a joke. It's a cute little scene they had.
Oh, was that the therapy session?
Yeah, I don't have the temperament for it.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
I have decided, because of this, I'm this kind of person. I've looked up upcoming movies, and obviously, here's the thing. I think horror's been killing it. There's so many good, like, random horror movies that come out.
Yeah.
There has.
But I'll focus on some more nerd stuff because, we're here for that. So as far as superhero stuff, we do have Captain America.
Okay.
There's Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of interested.
This be interesting. There's James Gunn's Superman.
Right, there's that.
Which I am very excited for.
I think you mean James Gunn's Guy Gardner movie that's coming out soon.
Yeah. God, I can't believe he put it in there. And then we also have Fantastic Four is also in the summer. As well as Mission Impossible, possibly the last one, and then Ballerina, which is a John Wick spinoff.
Okay, I might be interested in that one just because it's probably a David Leitch joint, and the guy cannot fuck up. Like, absolutely not.
Oh, you say that.
Well, his most panned movie was Atomic Blonde. That's still a good goddamn movie. It's just that for some reason people didn't buy into it. I don't know why. Did you see any of Continental?
I did watch all of Continental. I was one of the 10 people who watched that show.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing you liked it then.
It's an interesting idea, and I like the world build. I love the world in that.
The world building in
those movies.
Well, that's kind of like what kept me coming back to the John Wick movies anyway. Was because of this whole idea that there's like a shadow industry of assassins and assassinators, and there's like a bed of like political intrigue like underpinning the entire thing. So that was cool about it. There's also another element to that movie, to those movies, which is people doing stuff, and
doing the good action.
Yeah, there was not a whole lot of that in at least the first episode that I saw. Like if they ever did, it was like very staccato. It was like, here's some talking, here's some hitting, and here's more talking, and here's some more of the action stuff. And it was like very segregated, at least to me.
It's very okay.
It was very okay. Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't suck.
It was very okay.
It didn't suck, but I haven't seen the rest of it, which ought to be, which is enough of an indication for me.
Do you know a 4th Hellboy movie came out last year?
Yeah, the one with Jack Kesey.
Yeah, Hellboy the Crooked Man. You can Google that one up.
Yeah, I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm just.
Was it fan made?
No, it came to theaters for a week.
It was New Line Cinema. It just came and then it went. I don't know. I think people like do projects like that just to sit on an IP. until the desirable situation or the opportune moment comes along.
Roger Corman can't direct them all, folks.
Since he's fucking dead too.
That sounds like a cast to me.
Wait, what? Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't even follow for a second. You know how this goes? There's like a fucking back catalog of like endless bullshit back here.
I'm waiting for the rendering symbol to appear in front of your face. Like,
I will give either one of you $5 if you can tell me what that symbol is called.
Depends on what service.
Okay. Well, we're talking about the loading symbol, right? Just in its most generic incarnation right now. It's like a. Okay.
Oh, it has more than a name than just the loading symbol. Kind of like how the little scribble is. The word is called Grolix.
It does. Yeah.
It's called a spinneroonie.
I wish. No, but it's not.
Oh damn! All right.
No, because the actual word for it's kind of like kind of suggestive. Okay. No, nobody.
No,
All right.
go.
It's called a throbber.
A throbber.
It is. Here, wait. All right, so this comes from the same bed of lore that GIF not being pronounced GIF is from. So, take it with a grain of salt. But if you look that up, yeah, it'll say that is called a throbber. And I believe the person that gave it that name was one of the engineers on for Macromedia, and he called it specifically the Flash version of that.
All right, if it's coming from an engineer, I'm automatically throwing some doubt on that, because those guys are hopped up on all kinds of chemicals.
Or just really long work hours.
But you know what? It's probably one is correlating to the other.
Yeah. Speaking of long work hours. All right.
Robber.
Yeah.
It's a big old throbber.
Look at that. It's a lovely looking throbber right there. Oh, thank you.
That is high quality throbber.
Davis, when need you to put your pants on? Oh, I thought you were talking about that. And there's no, that's an HR violation. You have to leave right now.
Real quick, Marvel Snap, TikTok.
Fucking A.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah. So how much of the previous week should it be wise to talk about at this point?
Not extensively, but, just like in a recap at midnight on the 20th, TikTok went down, and like 10 hours later, it's most is like going, yeah, that was a scary couple of hours, and it's right back, and they're praising the guy who tried to close it 4 years earlier.
So we're not gonna talk about any of the weird Facebook overlap with Zuckerberg doing that video, and certainly none of Bezos and Zuckerberg and a whole bunch of tech figureheads showing up at the inauguration yesterday. We're leaving all of that out of it. We're just saying that like TikTok went down. And then everything ByteDance, as it turns out, went down. And then apparently part of this bill was supposed to cover not just China, but also like Russia and Iran or something.
You're getting into things
There's a lot happening with this issue. Yeah, there's a ton of it.
But from what I understand, it was targeted just at ByteDance, which correlated to what we had no idea until it went down, Marvel Snap, which everyone was like, you turn on a game, it's like, what the where's my fucking game?
Now, that said, when you're in the mobile gaming space, that happens. Like, I used to play the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I know that kind of pain. But the fact that, like...
You don't see Niantic just shutting down Pokemon Go, though.
Niantic is San Francisco, isn't it?
It was an example, not...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Which is the funniest thing, because, like, to confuse matters further, the reason TikTok went west is because China banned it there.
Oh, and my favorite thing about this whole thing...
Yeah.
Is when they announced that TikTok would be going dark, Americans were jumping over to, what is it called, Red Note?
Red Note, yeah.
The app that is owned and operated by the official Chinese Communist Party.
It's actually a propaganda arm from China, and they're like...
It is! And people were, like, literally exchanging information. They were having, like, English videos had to have Mandarin closed captioning, and Mandarin videos had to have English closed captioning, and they were just chatting back and forth like, hey, our cats are exchanging our information. We love it.
I don't think there's any living cats over in China, Bob. Anyway, little racist humor. How about that? Seeing Snap dark on that morning was a little bit of a surprise. And whenever like people jokingly ask each other, hey, what radicalized you? I'll be like, I'm not joking. I'm going to have a fucking another January 6th over this shit if this doesn't get reinstated too sweet.
How long was it down?
I mean, like a day.
12 hours.
Yeah,
it was literally 12 hours. Well, Snap was down for like 3 days. But
that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
TikTok, everyone, as soon as that was back up, I saw the videos. It's like, and people are still shouting about it. TikTok's back. I know it's old fucking news at this point.
Yeah.
No, Snap, for me, it was 2 days. Or it was like a day and a half for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like delayed for some
Yeah,
people.
because Second Dinner, who is the developer, was like, we're not. They said they were not aware that they were to be part of the ban, but their publisher, Newverse, is owned by ByteDance, so they just kind of got wrapped up in it. And yeah, so they were down again. For me, it was like a day and a half, but they were not back as quick as TikTok, so it was a little bit longer. But they were immediately like, okay, we're gonna get it back up, and we're looking for a new publisher, just so we don't have to worry with it again. And I'm with Corey. I legitimately looked into VPNs just for Marvel Snap. I was not messing around. I'm like, I'm from Canada right now, dude. Like, I'm not. I need to get my Snap on. I can't play around.
Yeah, just like straight up, I actually paid for this season because Dark Avengers. Yeah, when that went down, I was like, I earnestly thought that they were going to do like a what's the word I'm looking for here? A compensation drop like they usually do with like, oh hey, we fucked up on some of our rules, so here's like 500 credits. It turns out, well, not only did they not give us like a Shang-Chi variant, which would have been great, they didn't give us anything.
Not yet. They still could. They could next week or something. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was the one for me. I was not expecting it. And then when I load up the app, it's like, sorry, this is not available in the United States. I'm like, they're connected to TikTok. I didn't know it. But the way the message was worded, I'm like, here we go.
Two things I wanted to bring up here. First of all, in relation to Snap, how do you not know who your fucking publisher is?
You know?
Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, Newverse is a subsidiary of ByteDance. Got that. I'd say that at least a little bit of background checking would have been in order for making a deal like that.
Oh,
Lemon 8 was under the scrutiny as well. They had to have known. It's like, well, we're probably going to go dark. Let's not say anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Because my assumption, again, they might have just not said anything, was that it's just the TikTok app will be the only thing. They're not going to do everything owned by this person. And then they did everything owned by that company. Yeah. But I'm also about maybe they knew and they were just like, maybe we'll get in under the radar and we'll fix it quick enough. I don't know. But the fact that they said like a day later, like we are actively looking for a new publisher, kind of tells me that they were like, we're not fucking around with this
anymore.
Nope,
yeah,
we're good.
That's probably.
Which I'm kind of shocked that Disney didn't. Maybe they did. I'm shocked Disney was like, oh, excuse me, that's a moneymaker. I think Disney's more powerful than the Chinese government, so I wouldn't really want to mess with them. So I'm kind of shocked that they didn't.
Disney probably owns more nuclear warheads than the Chinese government. It's really apropos that a game called Marvel Snap disappeared, just like Thanos Snap.
Yeah, the memes
I can't be the first one to make that joke.
The memes were made. They were.
Okay.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. That's funny.
But you have no idea how quickly I ran onto my console because I've also been playing Rivals, which is the Marvel Overwatch game, basically, which is really good. I was like, ooh, that is, what's that company? NetEase. I'm like,
NetEase.
Ooh, that doesn't sound American. I better go check, make sure that's up.
No, NetEase
we
is.
We were good. Korean, I think.
They're Korean?
No, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
Okay, I thought NetEase was a subsidiary of Perfect World, which is China.
Oh, NetEase is a Chinese internet technology company.
Oh, there you go.
Oh well. All right. So what's your actually not to like extend this any further because I keep looking at Rivals the page on Steam every time it pops up. I'm like, but then I don't. For the first thing, what are you playing it on?
I play on console.
Console. All right.
But it is crossplay.
Well, that's good. I was just my first question was about like disc size, but that's kind of a moot point.
That's personal.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to be rude. Secondly, all right, I'm an Overwatch expatriate, right? Diva for life. Although I tried to get good at Pharah, I was not good at Pharah. But the thing is that like I jumped off of that ship like way before Overwatch 2, way before that was a thing. And the reason I did so is because the player base became insufferable, but in not a TF2 sort of a way, in another way. And definitely not in a Sea of Thieves way. So I was wondering how your playing experience on Rivals has been so far.
For me, it's been good. It's also that thing where it was new, it was a big hit, the numbers were crazy. So you're not at the point where it's just the tryhards playing the game, right? Everyone is playing the game. So far, it's been wonderful. As of someone who only played maybe an hour of Overwatch and Overwatch 2 combined, I was able to jump into this much quicker, much easier, and I like the characters because I already know who they are.
Right.
And if you play with friends or if you don't play ranked mode, you can have a blast because no one takes again with this big of a player base. No one is being sweaty over unranked matches when you're just playing at 2 PM trying to level up your Invisible Woman. Nobody cares. It's fine.
Fucking tell me about it. God damn it. That was like the worst thing about Overwatch is the sweats.
Boy, it sounds like such innuendo for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leveling up my Invisible Woman.
Hey,
Yeah.
So I can team her up with the thing.
Hey,
The sweats weren't about that.
What we're talking about, I want you to Google
Oh, God.
Marvel Rivals Malice costume. You'll have a fun time. Invisible Woman. She's got some assets. No problem there.
The character design was pretty good with the game. I can say that for sure. But like I was looking at the classes and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, because I got so many heavy games on my disk drive as it is, and nobody calls them disk drives anymore. Just witness me getting old in real time right in front of y'all. But I wanted to be sure.
Oh, my.
Okay, now I gotta look this up because I haven't.
I would say that game enjoys the characters. It loves the characters. It loves the lore. There's nothing wrong with that game at all.
Christ almighty. Did they use Rhea Ripley as a model there?
It's good. Everyone in that game is exceedingly
everybody in that game's like fucking thirsty as hell. And you know what was kind of funny? What was kind of funny about this is like having a new generation experience the Psylocke effect.
Yeah, everyone
all of a
was
sudden,
like,
just is like
"Who is this?"
Fan art of Psylocke fucking all over the place, bringing me back to like the Jim Lee days of middle school. I was like, yeah, I remember this shit. Rogue in the Savage Land. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, I must have missed out on that story arc. That's the Malice costume.
Yeah. Everyone enjoy that Google.
Sure the hell is.
What?
See if they turn her around. Also, Namor has a pretty good one too if you're into the big buff dudes with big feet who are really muscular.
They put him in a Speedo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Namor. Come on now.
Yeah, you got to. Oh my god. I kind of remember this. You know what's kind of funny though is that like her comic book costume is a little bit more chaste than this one. Which you think that with this being the video game counterpart, they would have like tightened it up a little bit, but no, they were like she needs less. And that's how you know it's a Chinese company. All right.
We'll all be speaking Mandarin eventually. All right, so that everyone's gonna be Googling that stuff and just like keeping the rest of their evenings filled for the rest of who knows until our glorious leaders decide everything is illegal. Adam.
Yes.
Tell us, where can we find you? What are you doing? Where'd you go? All that good stuff.
I know this question. Marble Snap.
Yeah, I am on Marvel Snap. Yeah, you can find me everywhere. Adam Gumby online, and then Respawn Aimfire is the weekly gaming podcast. So if you want to enjoy that, go over there. I talk about Marvel Rivals over there too. We'll talk in depth. We're gonna do a ranking of every alternate costume in the game, from sexy to like just do rag bad.
You got to get this guy over here. You got to get him on that show.
If I play Marvel Rivals at some point during the week, sure. Then yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna boot that sucker up tonight.
Okay, it's a safe assumption. Sure. Anyway.
I mean, I'm looking at my bank account. It's like, can I? Yeah, I'll probably be able to swing that. I'm gonna see what I can do.
It's for free, Bob. You can definitely swing that.
Yeah, I can absolutely fucking swing that. That is no sweat off my balls whatsoever. All right, so we want to tell everyone. Practice infinite diversity in infinite combinations. I love when I can just throw him off because I rarely ever do that. There is a link tree to all of our socials and other media can be found in the description. Join our Discord. That is how we were able to get this glorious man, Adam, onto our show tonight. We put out the beacons, we lit the fires, we said, who wants to be on? And Adam stepped up on the Discord and said, I will gladly donate or volunteer my... What do you swing? An axe, a sword? What do you swing?
I'm sorry for all of this, by the way. I would say I'm a compound bow kind of guy. Me and Legolas hanging out in the archery section of Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay, you're the ranger of the group?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Jay is not with us tonight. You can find him, Square Pegs, on YouTube. You can find me, Skipper Bob's Breakdowns, also on YouTube. We have merch on tpublic.com that features the fantastic art of Mr. Tom Solo. To all of our followers, new and old.
There it is.
That is one of the things you can get, a sticker that you can't see because it's an audio podcast, but Adam is holding up his water bottle, which has our barrel girl on it, and it's one of our greatest designs of all time. Thank you, Tom Solo. And again, to all of our followers, new and old, we say, welcome to the guild, Corey.
And to all your cats and dogs.
Dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats.
Get the line right, you asshole.
I'm sorry I'm not Robbie, okay?
Okay. Thank God.
Sweaty balls, Bob.
Yeah, we're on tout.